Okay. So let's get this party started. So we need another character to grind. Let's see here. We need 46,000 cedar sap and 33,000 ash sap. 36,000 snowfield cedar. So I'm thinking let's see here. Where are you? Grievish Mountains. Yeah, I think what we'll do is go Megu this shit up. See here, because we'll get cedar. Thuja, I need 30,000 of, or no, I need 5,000 more Thuja. Yeah, we'll go do you. Because then we'll just basically brute force whatever Agris we get. So we'll do an hour here. And let's see. There was no point in bringing the donkey gear over to her, which is why I didn't grab it. Because, like, why bother? Okay, man, we don't really need that. So, honestly, I think we can pop a T on her because of how little we use her. We don't realistically use her. Oh, wait, shit, fuck me. Confirm. Fresh. That's right. She can use... and then... She can use the foods. Oh, hell yes. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We'll go ahead and do this for her. Got that. All right. So, 1 hour here. We gather pine, thuja, and cedar. We ignore fir. Do not gather fir at all here. So I think my enhancements are... Yeah, they're clean. So we can gather... we can technically record this 1 hour if we want. To see... what we're doing. If we want, we can hold on. Let's put my energy up. Click that twice, then we'll have the energy I hit from the buff. Although I don't think I'm going to run out of it here, so I'm going to wait a while, but I've got one more click on it. Just to split the difference. So the least we need is actually Thuja, believe it or not. Damn, they're both offline. Fuck, I could have done some gathering quests. Shit, that was a minigame. And it delayed popped on me. So we'll need to keep track of our Afrarus. Will be something we need to track. And I don't think they've updated the Garmoth yet to have the pity pieces in yet. I'd be shocked. But we'll check. Just curious, what is my mastery right now? 2350? Okay, I could technically pop shit if I wanted. Because even with the thing, but I'm not really going to worry with it right now. Because, like, we've got quite a bit of shit running. Like there, now we're got 4 minutes of higher mastery, which is now moved it up to 28. So yeah, 2850. So I've got like 200 more mastery I could come up with to like hard cap it. But I would rather just pop a food and degen grind something, but I don't really think that I think the only place I would realistically do that is bear. Because, I mean, if we think about bear, it's the one place where we're going to be able to min-max how long we grind on a character. Like, I could do 3 hours here with all, like, the giga buffs, but, like, saps are so finicky, basically. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I would rather have the mastery hunting. I'd rather have the mastery... Shit, I almost think maybe the mastery at trolls would be better. But... saps, because we're so not on a character that long, it feels really weird to try to, like, hard push that mastery. There we go. It's hard capped at 3 million. I knew it wouldn't take long for it to max out. So it's worth 3 million silver a piece. So we probably will start looking at selling it. We'll keep an eye on it, for sure. And see how it progresses, because I'm sure the more people try to get on and get it, the more that pre-order's going to go up. But at the same time, we could cash in and just start making money on it. Because it's not like I'm in any rush. I personally will never use it. For as long as I play Black Desert, I will never use it. And for just a title, fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck about titles. Like, it's a kind of a shit treasure item, but I get why they did it. And for the people who aren't doing what I'm doing, I 1000% get the treasure. But for me, absolutely bloody worthless. And it's worthless to anybody whose guild manor is, or the manor is the guild manor. Because then you can teleport to it from anywhere in the world. So, yeah, no, that's OP as shit. Okay, we're done with those. Now, unfortunately, I'll only be able to click yes on Agris on this one. I don't have the actual Agris grind number. Because I don't think I looked at it. Pretty sure that's fur. Okay, that's actually all for right here. Move over here. Now we're in the pine section of the grind. This is where we're going to get a lot of the pine, is in this section in here. So that was more Thuja cedar. This is now going to be more Thuja and pine with some cedar in here. I mean, there's still a good bit of cedar, but this is where the bulk of the pine comes from, is in this section. Alright, 2 gold keys. Perfect. I was beginning to wonder if those were going to show up. Starting to think they went out on vacation. Unpaid, of course. Now, I'm not going to do the deep rotation. It's honestly, it's not worth. With how much shit we do, it's not worth going back behind this tree. So 2 golden keys deep. It's not terrible considering the amount of energy we've dumped. Right now I'm floating at 2300 mastery. But I could push it to 3k, but doing saps, it's not really worth ripping too much further. You're not getting that much difference with how with basically what I'm gathering, you're not gonna get that much difference. And that's with doing several hours of it maxed out at 3k. It's not noticeably different. Like, it's a little bit better, but at the cost difference, it's better to use 3k mastery shit on stuff that's super compact and really tight on each other, where sapping, you don't really notice it. You're at 1600, don't know if I need to push PvE or life skills. I mean, it kind of comes down to what are you wanting to do in the game. I mean, if you can help me out with that, I can probably give you a better answer. Because, like, the answer that I would give generically is probably not good enough of an explanation. Because the answer is technically both. But I also want to make sure that we have kind of an idea of what type of player are you. So, because, like, me, I have 46,000 hours in the game, and those are the life skill levels I have. You know, it's, I mean, there's the, almost, 2,000 days. Don't spend too much time, just log in for fun, sometimes live PvE. So if that's the case, then I would suggest PvE, but it comes down to what do you actually have more fun doing when you play the game? Like what do you like to do? Do you like grinding and killing mobs? Do you like being an economist and trying to, like, come up with ways to break the bank? Because, like, both take investment time to do, but it comes down to what do you have more fun doing? Because I'm not going to push you into saying you need to do life skills when you don't really have the time to dedicate to it. Because, like, you can do it for fun, sure. Because, like, some people just enjoy hunting, so they'll go out and they'll go hunt shit. Just to hunt. They don't give a shit what they make in the end. They just want to go shoot shit with a musket. Or the sniper rifle. Some people want to go out and go smack mobs around, show them who's boss. So that's more satisfying to players. So that's why I'm kind of wanting to be a little cautious here and try to get you in the right. You're 322, 409 PvE, can only do like 2 hours max of grinding. Okay, so you kind of have the similar play schedule to me. And I assume that you are a person who doesn't leave their computer on or leave Black Desert running at all. You log on and then hard log off. That you're not one of the people who would actually, like, leave Black Desert running 6 days a week. Well, 7 days a week. Because, like, here's the thing. I could recommend AFK fishing for you, and it would make money. You would need to set it to be only, nope, sometimes. Okay. So, like, yes, I could technically recommend AFK fishing to somebody like that, you know, if you wanted to leave it on. But if you're a person who logs off, then you need to maximize what time you've got. And honestly, you're gonna probably get better bursts. I'm doing it, getting like 1 bill. I mean, that's fair. Like, you can go grind mini grind spots at 320 and make roughly 1 bill an hour. It's probably your crystals holding you back, is normally what most people don't look at. No, at 320... I would be at Highlands, personally. in Ulakita. Because at that point, you're working on, unless you already, I mean, even if you have them, it's still worth doing, is Highlands for the Kabua's artifacts. And it's a pretty good hourly grind. You're stationary around the Sicilian. Doesn't take too long. But that's fine. They're worth 10 billion silver each. And the fragments still sell for 100 million each. At least here on North America. Now, your server may vary. Trying to get the 10,000 Kafirs for the offhand. I wouldn't probably grind for them. Personally. Like, if I was doing a Kafir grind, I'd probably be down in, like, I'd either be doing Jade Starlight, or I'd be doing, Gyphon Under, if I was trying to go just strictly for Kafiras. But with the Ulakita quest, you have, I think, what, 50, 60 a day you get just from killing an hour at Sicilian? Oh yeah, I would just probably outright buy the Kafiras. Especially right now while they're crashing, because so many got pumped into the market, I would probably go grind money to buy them. Because right now you're probably, for the next 2-3 weeks, you're probably going to be getting Kafiras at about 50% off. So that's not a terrible deal. I would rather spend my time making more money per hour and trying to just outright buy them. And then with the, like I said, with Ulakita, Garmoth, I need just one, right? No, you're going to need 3 Garmoth hearts, eventually. But you do need the first one. The most important one needs to go to your awakening weapon. Yes, that is absolutely the mandatory one. But the next most important one you're going to want is going to go to your offhand. Or to your main hand. And then the one that whenever you get it is, you dropped one yesterday? Lucky son of a bitch. Still to this day, I have never looted a Garmoth heart. Then again, I also don't go do Garmoth anymore. I just bought them. No, that's actually awesome, though. I'm always happy when somebody ends up dropping it, because I know what a pain in the dick they are. But there is a free one that you can get, well, free, I'm going to put in very loose quotation marks, that you can get from doing a quest chain. It's stupidly expensive. It's as much as the Garmoth heart, but it's guaranteed and way easier to get. As long as you're doing Nuver, it's stupidly easy to get. And then, shit, I went over too far. You got the free one? Okay. So you need one more. Okay. That's the one that can wait. That's the one that you don't pre-order until you have, like, a good chunk of money. Also, just as a slight warning, you said you're 322, right? As a heads up, you're kind of in a awkward spot that you probably don't want to do your sovereign offhand yet. So you're just barely over the threshold where most people say to convert the black star to sovereign. So the normal, the soft cap is where people say, you know, you don't really notice it until you're 320. But I'm more curious about your accessories at the moment than I am that black star. Because the monster damage on that black star is astronomical, and you need to have your other ducks in a row to justify the Sovereign offhand, because it is going to change your stats and you might actually lose damage temporarily. So I would like to kind of get an idea of where your, because I just thought of that, of where your accessories are. And you're playing Awakened Witch? That's always fun. I see a lot of people playing her right now. I hadn't played my Witch in a long time. I will still to this day say I prefer Wizard over Witch, in terms of kit and utility, but I do like both. And I mean, back in the day, I could actually put my money where my mouth was, and I could show you that Wizard was better than Witch. Nowadays, I can't do that. Because I would always go up against any Witch at the time and say, okay, prove it. You know, when somebody's like, oh yeah, the Witch is always better than the Wizard. Yeah, right. They're basically the same class. My favorite thing to do is when a Witch would throw up their block, I come up and grab them and manhandle them down. Okay. Okay. Yes. Alright. So, you aren't at Sovereign yet. So you've got one big-ass red flag right now. I mean, it's not that it's bad, but it's bad for what we're trying to do. So the 2 distortion earrings, you've got to get rid of ASAP. That is absolutely chewing through your DP that you don't need to have being eaten up right now. So, yes. For right now, passively work on collecting Caphras, but your main goal is to earn money to buy 2 Tet Deba. Well, I mean, actually, you need to buy 2, 4, 5 Tet Debos. And replace all of that before you go worrying about your Pen Blackstar offhand. And I mean that honestly, because that's more important of an upgrade, getting all that extra AP over getting Sovereign offhand. So, just as a general idea, in terms of rough math, in terms of, like, let's just say it was where it was a couple days ago. So we'll say 2,400 times 20,000. Shit. 2,400 times 20,000 is 400 and, wait, hold on. 2.4 million times 20,000. Is 48 billion. That is I think 2 or 3 Debos. Depending on how cheap you can get them. Because I've seen some go up for like 15, 18 billion. So you can get like 2, almost 3 for that price. Now, if you're passively grinding the Caphras, which is great because you're going to be making money on the other side. So, you're not only going to get the DP upgrade, which is huge, you're going to get the AP upgrades by getting a full set of Karazods, and then you're also, because you're buying the Tet Debos, you're going to get AP crystals that go with it when you convert them over. Now, you're not going to actually level the Karazods once you get them. You're going to scrap them someday. You're going to just hang on to them and throw them over to somebody else because you're eventually going to buy Pen Debos and flip them because that's cheaper than leveling them up. Because if you were to fuck up and try to level a Debo, or to level a Karazad, it could easily cost you upwards to 390 billion silver if you have to hard pity it. So you could have bought 2 Pen Debos for the price of attempting to level it. So that allows you to get into like the 350 range and make a lot more money. Now, you've already got a Karazad that you're working on, and that's fine. We're going to hope that RNG is good for you, but I would much rather see you turn your focus from the Pen Blackstar going Sovereign and focus on the Karazods, which will end up benefiting you way more and put you into places like Dark Seekers and I mean, you could do Tungrad. Let's see here. What else is in that 350 range? You could do Tungrad. I mean, you can do Highlands now. That's not an issue. You just need to run Frenzy Drots when you go there. With a simple cron meal, and you'll be absolutely bitch slapping them as a witch. Can buy a belt today. It's like plus 4 AP. If you've got the money, then go ahead and get the Debo belt. And actually, it's going to be more than plus 4 AP because you're going to get the 4 AP crystal with that as well. So do remember that. So you're basically getting 8 AP in that one upgrade. And that's what makes it better. Once your big break is going to be getting the 3-piece Karazad set. That's when you're going to activate most of the sheet AP that the Karazads are worth. Then getting them cupped. That's the other thing I didn't ask that I don't know if you've done is, have you done the whole cup grind? So that's another monster to talk about, but it's also a long-term investment that is well worth it. So Karazads also come with a special cup system. So you can directly use the cups, but you need to upgrade them. And we have enough Forest Furies on the market now that actually extracting cups, if you do have them in your stuff. Nope. Okay. So, yes. Okay. I mean this politely. You are probably 2 months away from doing your Sovereign offhand. Now, I know it may not be what your grind wanted to hear, but I'm going to be real. All the upgrades I just mentioned are probably way more important than that Sovereign offhand. Because the amount of damage you're about to get for those investments is monstrous. Where technically, right now, you might actually lose damage. Because of the difference of how the Sovereign is worked. Because once you get all those other upgrades I just mentioned, that Sovereign offhand is godlier. Now, let me make sure that you do see this so that you're not thinking I'm just talking shit out my ass. I do have pen Sovereigns across the board. I'm 355 AP on my main. I've also got I've literally got best in slot crystals also. So, like, I can hard cap grind Etherean Castle like it's nothing. I am so overcapped, I don't need a Perfume of Courage to grind Etherean. So I can just run the Harmony drop by itself. Like, that's where I'm at. So, me personally, from my experiences in my min-max bullshit of trying to be way too anal with how my silver goes in this game, go ahead and upgrade that belt. That's 8 AP you're looking at that that is just sitting free on the table. Because you're getting your AP crystal and you're gonna get the AP off the belt. So big gain right there. I play two. So I play the Seraph and I play the Guardian. But here's the thing. I have played Witch. I've got like nearly 1,000 hours on Wizard. I've got about 1,000, 2,000 hours on Dark Knight. I've played Valkyrie for about 3,000 hours. So I mean, I've been around a while. I've played a little bit of everything at some point or another. Just a lot of the newer classes I'm not as checked out on. Because a lot of them came in after I had played. But right here you can see I have a 66 Seraph and I have a 65 Guardian. So I mean, I've done some shit. You know, I'm telling you stuff that I personally would do myself. Like, I don't I try not to be that person who gives advice and does another thing, because the one thing that triggered me most, especially early on with Black Desert, was being told one thing while people did another. And that really kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. Yeah, so go down to Highlands. Make sure that when you click Ulakita, you actually go pick up the 3 Sikilian quests. And do those daily, because these are worth Caphras every single day. So every reset, you get those. Your big money makers are going to be the Kabuas, and the Forgotten Limbo boxes when those drop. The Flame and the Ember are going to be probably the worst moneymaker, but you will be getting a decent bit of Caphras. And if I check really quickly here before some of my buffs don't run out, grinding Highlands, I was averaging 1.8 billion silver an hour grinding Highlands. And I have over 100 hours at Highlands. The plan sounds better. Okay, good. Like I said, I hate imposing things because I know you were probably all excited to go get the Sovereign because it looks cool, you're getting the upgrade, but this will get you more, better, faster. And then, you know, eventually you'll have to do the best in slot PvE crystal crap, which this is going to be nauseating to do over time. But, like, that's something you'll have to work on getting upgraded, because it's going to help spots out like that. But yes, when you go to Highlands, here's what you're going to want to make sure you're running. You're at 320. You're probably going to need... You're probably going to want to run the Corrupted Frenzy Draught. And then you're going to need, a simple cron meal. And I'm not sure if you will have the, Alright, I'm in a weird spot. I kind of need to drop off, but I can't go put this shit in storage. Shit. $220. This is about to fuck me. Sweet. I don't know if you're gonna be in if you're gonna really, I don't know if you're in furniture range. Like, I without actually putting the math up on what your gear is, I don't know what your effective HP is. Was thinking I needed to get the offhand and get Pendebo. So, okay, so I was talking to somebody about this here in the last day or so. So, I want you to think about it like this. A Pendebo is 170 billion, okay? The offhand grind is... It's a grind. It's definitely worth, you know, several billion to do. But the Tet looks better. So, here's why the math checks out. You're looking at, you're looking at 5 Tet Debos times, let's say, 23 billion, okay? Is probably the average cost. So you're looking at 115 billion buys you how much actual more AP? So it's going to be buying you 5 more AP. So it's going to buy you 20 more AP in crystals. And just crystals alone by getting the Karazods. Then you're going to get the AP from the Karazad set is going to be bought as well. So you're going to get AP right off of that. And then you're going to get the... And the DP because you're getting rid of the... distortion earrings. Plus, you're going to be looking at getting cups, which is going to be a massive deal, while arguably later on it's going to suck having to extract the cups. It's a price we pay because it's a massive stepping stone for you. Because that's right now where you're at. You're going to take a leap with 115 bill, roughly, 120 bill. You'll leapfrog that, into that next step. And this honestly gets you doing more spots faster. Because with what I've told you, you'll be able to go do Dark Seekers. You might be able to get into Ethereum and do okay. Like, is it best in slot? No. But is it good enough to... Is it good enough to work with? Yes. Like, me personally, I don't see a better upgrade path than that, knowing what I now know. Because you're gonna need DP, and yes, the Black Star, the Sovereign's gonna give you that. Yes, the Sovereign gives you extra reforged crystals, which is great, but you're not gaining enough off of that to justify all these other upgrades. And while you're working on it, this is the best part, is while you're working on getting these other things upgraded, guess what you're going to be saving up in the background? All your spirit dust, blackstones, because you're going to need them to make the Caphras. And move this over here. Damn, these crabs are fucking persistent. Also, I shouldn't have tried to clock a grind on a character who has absolutely no weight. This is making this really min-maxy on how I stack my weight. Which basically means I'm dragging this horse and having to keep it trailing on me. So I can put it over when I get too fat. Like, I've got a couple weight things I could still pop. Like, if I had the worst case scenario, I could pop a perfume of swiftness. I could pop one of my 100 weight rings that I use for, like, extreme dire emergencies when I need to get unfat really fast. But I've only got 100 energy left. So as long as we drag the horse, we'll be fine. Shit. Get out my way. Fuck you, crab. Damn crab's trying to kill my horse. And the thing is it's not like I'm gathering 1 sap here. I'm gathering 3, so I'm, like, really, like, stretching what my inventory can do. Normally, if I wasn't clocking this, I would be, just teleporting to the guild manor. And this, I wouldn't be thinking twice. Also, I need to start doing the energy grind, 408, 438. I mean, that's not terrible. I mean, you can do quite a lot of damage at 400, at 400 energy and contribution. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do. Alright, we got 42 energy left. And how long have you been playing so far? I mean, you sound like you've been around for a little bit to have that kind of gear already. But also, I know they do jumpstart you pretty good nowadays, to where that actually is pretty quick. Years? Okay. Hey, everybody plays at their own pace. There's nothing wrong with it. And not everybody gets, you know, the right advice at the right time, you know? That's something else, like, I can teach you through years. Lost my account when we moved. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know or care at that time. When PA did the service transfer. But I mean, they've done enough, I think, over the last 2-3 years that they've made up for it. The only thing that sucks at that point is spent money. I mean, that makes sense. Me, I spent too much money in the game. Of course I was going to make sure that it was transferred over. Shit, I am now actually hard capped. Alright. Let's see here. Food weights that are in the normal foods. Is there anything that I can get a hold of there? Insufficient energy. Never mind, we're done. Alright. Perfect timing is perfect. Okay, so let's see here. I have life skills. We did saps. Land of the Boring Light, Thuja sap. Cedar sap. Add. Okay, I don't think Garmoth has updated for the thin life essence. No, they haven't. Okay. So what we're gonna do is... let's add something we can edit. trace of origin. Edit spot. Okay. All right, so we did this. Doesn't matter. We did 1 hour. I'm just going to click Agris. Yes, 2,400 mastery is what we're going to put. Energy is going to be 700. And let's pull our saps off of this. All right, so Cedar sap was 14,834. Thuja sap was 7,955. Pine sap was 4,065. I got 76 traces, 47 fruits. Black gems I don't have access to here. Sharps I got 117. Kaffers I don't have access to. Spirit powder I got 738 here. I don't know if that actually is correct. But I got 1,088, which is far more than I got here. 811. I really am starting to question this. 8. Deep hoof roots. I didn't get any of those. I did get bloody tree knots. 117. 834 of those. 443 of those. Spirit leaves. 450. Bloody tree knots. 137. I didn't get any artifacts. I did get 2 golden chests. And then I got 101 of these, which we're going to update to be 30,000, 300,000, 3 million. So I made 2.6 billion in the hour, if this is correct. No, if we take that off, it's worth... yeah, we're going to take that off, and right now it's worth 0. First day of new gathering needs updating soon. All right, save. So it's worth 1.5 billion if we take out the fairy's breath. Save. So let's edit this and go back to enhancement. I got didn't get any black gem fragments, but I did get 56 Kaffras. So 1.6 billion is what we ended up getting here. No, I'm using Garmoth. Oh, fuck me. I'm actually, like, heavily overweight. Glish. Let's put in the pine sap. And... okay, there we go. Alright, we're gonna go to the manor real quick and do that. But I do the, I do Garmoth for charting some of this stuff. But yeah, it definitely looks like we got more sharps in the hour, but I also got 2 chests, so that does say something there. These are what I'm a little concerned about. Is the fairy powder. But I have to come back here anyway. I got 21,000 Agris, then I'm out. Jesus. Alright, so that's one character down. Now we'll do one more grind for sure, and then we'll see what's up. Alright, let's take all of this off and move this to somebody else. Alright, let's see here. Let's just hop over to hop onto the Guardian real quick while I figure out who I'm gathering with. I need to do the math again. So every time I do this, I've got a spreadsheet system that I have that I'm tracking for what I'm actually using to make money. And here I update after every time I grind what my gathering list is and how much more I need to gather, and that kind of helps me gauge where my Agris needs to go. But considering we're about to be on the 20,000 Agris, we're about to be on 20,000 Agris daily for the rest of the, 2 weeks. It's just going to be where do we want to implement it more. Alright, so we got some gathering in at Cedar. Cedar is now at 40,000. 40,390. We got some Pine, which is now at 18,199. And Thuja is now at 38,690. Okay, Thuja is now done for the second round, so I've got that done. Okay, in terms of characters that we want to use, I still need 11,000 Pine, but I also need to get 30,000 more Cedar Sap. So I'm pretty confident in that we're going to get that by raw grinding the Cedar out, doing that same rotation. I need to still get 33,000 Ash. I'll get about 20,000 in an hour. So we may end up carrying a character over and just going to do this Ash Sap, which will go ahead and knock out another 10. I also need to do Snowfield Cedar Sap, which is down at Elton. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and... let's go ahead and burn one of these Eltons, and we'll go ahead and do some Snowfield Cedar. Because I'm going to have to raw dog, I think, this. Well, I need 36,000. I'll drain my Agris here, sucking Snowfield Cedar. And then everything else is in the 20-ish thousands, which is decent. Okay, so we want to go over to this stable over here. Disconnect, grab you. Now, I should probably go grab my donkey gear and pop that over and pop the donkey buff over here since I literally can sit right next to a donkey. Unfortunately, again, with her, I need to go put some of this shit in there. I've got some weight on you. Let's go to the guild manor real quick and drop this shit off in a bank. I don't want to have that taken up in storage. So, like... Just put that in there. So I've got 930 weight, and I don't think... There we go. A 1,000 weight. Oh yeah, this is so going far. Actually, yes. Close enough. Okay. So let's go grab my donkey gear real quick, and we'll burn this. Wait, hold on. My donkey doesn't have gear on it. Fuck, does that mean the donkey gear's here in Valia? I would forget it over here. This is why we need a Krogdaloed Sanctuary donkey. So that when I get the damn Sanctuary, I can have a donkey in there, and I don't ever have to think about where the fuck my donkey gear is. I can just... do. It should just be there, like a normal person. Like, you don't think about grabbing your horse gear, because your horse is just there. Alright, the Nova... Alright. So 36,000 Snowfield Cedar sap so far. Alrighty. Where the shit are those 3 traces coming from? Oh, wait. That makes the world of a difference. Now, it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to track this by... I'm not going to track this per... what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to track this per, for this grind, so I don't have to worry about the, teleporting and having to get unfat that way. All right. We're going to put... Foods. Where's the blue foods? There we go. All right. We're going to turn that off. We're going to turn that off. We're not going to run those. Not worried about those. So. All right. Time to sap. So now this will be gathering probably exclusively the snowfield cedar here. And not the and not the pine that is around. Because I kind of want to get as much energy as I can on the I want to get as much energy as I can on the snowfield cedar. Alright, I can't use that charge because that thing's got so many animation locks to it. It's going to slow me down. We're just going to run it. But yeah, there's pine here, which is good. But since I need so much and I've got limited agris, I'd rather put the agris into specifically the snowfield cedar here. So we'll let this go exclusively into that, and we'll burn all 21,000 of it. When we're done with this hour, I won't have any agris left. Also, for anybody that's just tuning in, with the new event, you want to make sure you get your first 100 of your distorted whatever token thing that we're getting for the event goes to buy the special book that is available till June 18th. So for anybody that's grinding, you'll want to take advantage of that. The Remnant of Distortion. Now, at some point when we get caught up on this round, we'll probably go picking up everything. But for right now, we're good. Let's see here. Snowfield is this little guy. I always mess this one up. This is the one where I'm always, right in here, I'm always trying to remember where the snowfields are. It's this one. Also, there is a bit of fur in here, right there. But we don't gather fur. We've got 400,000 fur. It is so rarely used that we don't really want to waste energy gathering it. Now, as a brand new character playing, you probably might want to gather the fur occasionally. But as somebody who has countless and yes, so the elixir you're going to end up using it for is the demi-human elixir and the golden hand elixir are the two that you're going to most likely use it for. The demi-human is what you're going to use to craft elixir of demi-human, which gives you the demi-human damage when going out to do combat. The golden hand elixir is what you're going to use to do your imperial alchemy once you hit master. But you probably won't turn in anything imperial until guru, so that you at least have some mastery levels on you to make it worth more. So for me, I have 400,000 of it stacked up because I've just never used it. Or I can't outuse what I do with everything else, like Ash Sap. There's only one node in the game that drops Ash Sap. And, so passively, I can't generate anywhere near enough Ash Sap. But if I go out and grind it, I can sustain it pretty well. It's one of my major grinds. Like, that's one of the big things that stands in my way is the Ash Sap bottleneck. Cedar is also the other bottleneck, but we have such a good... You start adding your gear on Garmoth. Nice. That's actually really helpful, and it helps people, and it also helps you understand grind spots better, so that you can see what your caps are, how much do you need to get to the next spot, how much better are you really doing than you think you're doing. So yeah, getting all that done and making sure you get your journals added in properly, your crystals added in, really does help out. And it helps, like, if you ever want to share stuff, I can look at that a lot easier too. And can easily see where upgrades belong. But in your case, that was a pretty easy one to figure out just by the quick conversation. I do it because it allows me to store absolutely a ridiculous amount of data, but the average person probably doesn't need the premium unless it's something they're really going to use for, like, detailed tracking. Based off of what you've told me, I don't really know if premium's going to be advantageous for you. But it is $4 a month. It's not really that much. So it really comes down to your financial situation, and if it's something that interests you in terms of tracking stuff and how much you want, you can totally figure that out. Yeah. I pay for it, but I also use, like I said, I track most all my actual combat grinds. I track a good bit of my life skill grinds, but right now the life skills are not updated enough. But I just wanted to record that one just so I had a benchmark to kind of look at. Which I should have done something more like this. Way easier to overstack instead of having 3 saps that I'm trying to juggle. So the thin essence of life is worth 3 million a pop. That's not bad. Considering I've already gathered probably 300 million worth today. I'm getting about 100-ish an hour. Considering you're looking at 60 hours of grind to get all the pieces is what I'm going to take a wild stab at. Because I'm going to assume it's going to be about 10 hours of grinding in all the different things. Obviously, some hours may be slightly more, some hours may be slightly less. But I would say maybe on an average, you're probably looking at 60 hours to get the treasure piece. But like the last hour I just did, I got 101 in that hour of sapping at there in Duvenkroon. The real test is going to be someplace like Bear. How many do I get there when I actually go fucking ham and actually can unload energy like almost the per second level? Like that I expect, like when I go full degen, give all the energy buffs, I'm probably going to pull some astronomical shit out in that hour. But right now, numbers are really jacked because of the minigame. All right, we got 2 chests here, which is great. More sharps. We appreciate those. Okay, these 2. But I'm getting enough that I don't feel like I'm... It's not like I feel like I'm trying to grind out the compass piece or the, like an actual treasure piece. This is an obtainable, realistic treasure piece for people. And I mean, I hate to call it a treasure, too, but I mean, it is a treasure. A treasure I will be selling all the pieces for. I'm not gonna bother building it. I'll make the money off of it. I have the guild manor. I don't need that. Anybody else? Absolutely. Like, I've already pulled up 341 so far today. Which, now that they're maxed, I'll probably sell them all when we get done for the day. Just go in and cash in on that pre-order. I'm so glad they fixed the loop on this, because I hated having to channel hop this shit. It was so dumb. Now I can infinitely do this loop and not have to channel hop. Because this was a long-ass loop. That's the fucked up shit. All last year I had to channel hop this. So you'd basically have to do 3 channels worth of gathering so that these trees would spawn correctly. But somewhere between the time I quit, they fixed the snowfield cedar spawn rate, which is fantastic. Now, the Fairy's Breath stuff, I will not be spending at all for the near future. Until we see if they are going to change anything. Because as it currently stands, they are very underwhelming. And the only real value for me almost looks like it's contribution. Because everything else is pretty easy to get. So I'm going to see if they're going to end up buffing them. So I'm going to hang on to mine for a while. So I'll end up with several tens of thousands of them. But getting rid of the sharps on them, I think, was a bad decision. I mean, at least at this case, put the sharps back on there and make it cost more. Slightly more. Since we're getting so many more per hour. Alright, there's another 2 buried treasure. Easy sharps. Oh, it was the wild herb that popped up. So I'm gonna assume by the end of the weekend we have got our next full station worth of saps, and then we got to do the blood grind. Shit, I didn't mean to grab the pine. Shit, stop trying to gather the pine. Like, it's not gonna hurt me. I need the pine, but I would much rather do that on the Thuja cedar area than over here. Especially the fact that I need 36,000 of this. I'd rather every suck go to the snowfield cedar. Yeah, the mini game is making it able to cycle through energy so much faster. You posted a link on YouTube. You can post the link right here. In Twitch, I don't give a shit. I don't see the link over on YouTube. So yeah, post it here on Twitch chat. Yeah, there is definitely a few free AP and DP. Like, there's one from the anniversary that's really good and easy to get. There's several from the journals. There's some from the Land of the Morning Light shit that you gotta grab, which is also 2 crystals. So there's a lot of free stuff sitting around. And it does add up. The journal AP and DP really does add up over time. Yep. No tree left behind. Damn, we're absolutely blowing through energy. Holy shit. Just a few days and I'll be sitting there on whatever I generate on my characters. Very nice. It'll be a while since we've done that. Okay, let's go ahead and dump this off at the manor. So see what I'm doing right here is literally the treasure. This is why I think the treasure's dumb for me. Because this is literally what y'all do. So yeah, right there, I've already gathered 500 of those, and already 75 of the essence. So we're doing really good. Yeah, I'm gonna have some astronomical amount of that shit when it's done. The end of the 2 weeks, it's gonna be nuts. Alright, Afuaru, thank you for showing up. Alright, let's take a look. Another Afuaru. Fuck yes! That is so lucky and great. Okay. Okay, so you've got Kabuas, you're missing the cups, the distorteds. Yes, so this is starting to make sense on crystals. Okay, so crystals, you've got actually fairly good crystals here. Like, for the most part, you're in pretty decent shape. There's some slightly sus crystals in there, but for what you're doing... And I understand the Bon AP, because it seems like that's probably what you just bought, versus... Because you didn't... It sounds like you made the SEP. If anything, I'm going to take a wild guess. That SEP is probably from the free... level up your shit from the seasonal character, which is one of the traps. That's what I'm gonna take a wild guess on. Yep. That is one of the, that's the one thing nobody should actually do, is that one. Because the expense it costs to make that thing is the same cost as buying a Tet Debo. And at that point, you're getting a pen accessory, and you're getting the Gen AP crystal for the same price. So it's kind of like, they fucked up. It should have been pen. I get why they didn't do it, but at the same time, they should have done it. Anyway, that's easy to fix. It can happen over time. But overall, I mean, your crystals aren't bad. Yeah, your AP is, like, good enough to go to, like, Gyphon Under and probably... Yeah, and to do Highlands. You could go do Highlands with that. Because I think the hard cap is 1180. I think is what it is. Ulakita is... Yeah, 1180. So, like, you're fucking... All you need to do is just pop a draught. You don't even need to run a perfume there. Just pop the Corrupted Frenzy draught and go grind with food. Actually, you probably don't even need that, but I still would run something. No. And the reason why is because you're gonna replace those Macalod. You're gonna replace most of those Macalods at some point. You're gonna keep 2 of them, but you're not. You're basically your crystals are gonna look like this someday. You're gonna have 2 brutal decimations. You'll have 2 Macalods, 2 of the rebellious. You'll have 2 crystal voided destructions. You're gonna end up running 2 of the resistance crystals with AP. You'll end up running an Adanya crystal. You'll run probably 2 glorious Okrads, 1 corrupted gluttonous crystal. You'll have 6 Han gens or Han APs. And then you'll have the 1 major resist crystal in there as well. So you'll be bouncing back and forth between knockdown, knockback, and the stun, stiffness, freezing. You'll be running between those. So your crystals will look more like mine at some point. So getting 4 Macalods at this point, for generic PvE, it will work. But as you start getting towards Adanya, yeah, for now, I would more worry about getting, I'd be more looking at trying to get some of the crystals, like getting that, bond to Gen. I'd be more worried about that than, getting a Macalod. Just getting your accessories is more important at this point. Getting all those Tet Debos is far more important than getting 2 Macalods. Now, if they fell in your lap, could you use them? Sure, absolutely. We're not going to say no to free Macalods, but the odds of free Macalods falling in your lap are slim to none. So yeah, leave it for now. Those are good. I still think probably the first 2 accessories I would make is gonna be to get rid of those earrings. That's where my money's going right away. I want to get rid of the earrings so I can get my DP back. Once my DP's back, then I'll go for the belt. But if it's going to go on just whatever financially is available, absolutely go with whatever's financially feasible first. Because any upgrade at this point for you is a big upgrade. Like, once you get some of these upgrades, you're going to be hard capped at Highlands. So, if you're curious about Highlands, there was a day or so ago, I went and I did an hour and I basically did a micro tutorial on how to grind Highlands. On one of the videos here, one of my VODs here last day or so ago. I jumped over and did Highlands just because I wanted to see what I could do in an hour on the Guardian. I want to say it's the day I went to Crypt, I went to Highlands. I also died. I wasn't paying shit of attention. I broke one of my Okrads. I like literally broke a 2 billion crystal. Fucking off there. I felt like, oh shit. Let's see here. So, whoops, I don't want pine. Right now, I would save most of my money going into accessories. I wouldn't worry about DP, for a bit. DP's gonna come because your biggest DP upgrade right now is getting rid of those distorted earrings. Honestly, don't be too afraid of those upgrades. It's not that bad. You're a witch. You have a fucking heal. You have 2 heals that are absolutely disgusting. And if you have your infinite pot, which you may or may not have yet, that's also ticking in the background. Like, you're near unkillable with a witch. And you have a fucking block. So you got a lot of protection on you that a lot of classes don't have. I was near unkillable on my wizard. But I also knew wizard really, really well. I got to the point where I could take 3 mystics on at once and still actually kill the mystics. That's how good I got on my wizard. Back in the day, that was near unheard of. But I assure you that my guild watched that, as I had 3 mystics literally trying to gang rape me. And, each one of them started dying off very quickly, as they found out what it was like to fight a real wizard. Because back then, that was the class counter. And every mystic and their mother was out there trying to kill wizards and not knowing that I knew how to play mystic and I knew what they were going to do. So I knew what skills that I needed to get them blown through, and then they were basically unprotected for the next 30 seconds. And I had a fucking grab. I also had an invincible heal, too. That instant cast, it was the instant cast, you've got it, too. It's the Rabam skill where you Sage's Memory or something like that. Where you instantly heal and cast the, spell at the same, you do 2 spells that whatever, I think it was the speed spell and the heal at the same time, or the instant cast and the speed spell, or the heal spell. That spell's fucking nasty. Every time I'd get about a quarter of my health, I'd pop that and I'd be full health. And there ain't shit they could do. The only thing I had to be careful of was my MP, because mystics were just draining the shit out of me. So I timed my HP pots, or my MP pots, very carefully to make sure that they had just blown that MP drain. I'd pop it and I'd be back to full. But now with the infinite pot ticking, I wouldn't even think twice about it. Great, 2 more keys. Hell yes. So we burned 6 keys on her. Alrighty. That's what I'm talking about. But yes, you will need to upgrade your armor at some point, especially if you're going to be going to, if you're going to be trying to do, like, Highlands and stuff, yes, you're going to need the DP up, because they will fucking bitch slap you. You're still a bit of ways away from Ethereum Castle, by quite a bit, but you're definitely getting there. Let's see. Got 20 minutes left on the grind. Timer here. Also, the Vel's Heart's gonna be kind of annoying for you. You're kind of missing that. At this point, what I would start doing, and I mean this honest, I'd start working on a Resplendent Alchemy Stone on the side as well. So as long as you're doing your Dark Rifts weekly, you're going to be getting the currency to be able to make the stones to do the upgrades. Wow, Nock just sitting on the market during prime time. Who would have thought? But going ahead and working on that, because as soon as you can make that the exalted Resplendent Stone of Destruction, that's gonna be the stone you're basically going to merge once you get the Yeah, the Vels one's gonna take you. That's probably one of the hardest ones for people to get. But once you get if you can get that resplended and put all the shit on it, it's gonna be better than that Ator stone. Because you can actually exalt the shit. I didn't mean to grab the pine. You can exalt the resplendent alchemy stone of destruction. And then you've got your first merger ready as soon as you get the Vel. You just need to pull out the Reforged stones, which won't take you... It's 40 mil to pull them out in total. You'll pull out the Reforged stones from the Resplendent Alchemy Stone, and then you'll Simple Alchemy the 2 stones together. Then they'll merge into the Resplendent Vel's Heart, and you'll have slightly more attack speed and cast speed on a Vel's Heart. And then you'll actually get the full AP DP too. So I would be passively working on that in the background. All right, we got 92 energy. And that's another one of those items that I still can't believe North America hasn't acquired enough of those by now. But I guess there's really enough of them that aren't in circulation. And there it is. Agris is burned for the day. So we're now officially on 20,000 Agris a day for the next 2 weeks. So I just burned 100,000 Agris in 5 hours. That's dumb. Alright. A few more mini games and this is over with. Alright, let's see. Where is it? There it is. So my next goal is 32,000 sharps. And that's when we go to attempt to level up my, well, I'll probably start at... It's 32,000 to do the full pity. Maybe we do every 10 clicks we go for it. Maybe that would be more interesting. But in total, it's 32,000 for me to hard pity the Resplendent Alchemy Stone to Splendid. And that would take care of a goal. Getting the Splendid Plus would be one hell of a goal. Because that is a significant upgrade. It's also 192 billion of an upgrade. $46 energy. Almost done. You know, I'm kind of debating, do I now want to actually pen my pickaxe for Rasholka Coral? Or would I rather pen my chopping axe for Caphra's Essence? But at the same time, I don't really want to blow the Cronstones on that shit. Because, God, if I had to pity it, oh, that would be so bad. Yeah, see, I'd rather save my Cronstones for tapping shit up to... for probably the weekly taps on the Adanya armor at some point. Or getting my weapons to Sep. And the thing is, I kind of need to wait till I have both. Got many mana, didn't tap them, using the free ones. Yeah, no, the ones they gave you from the Olvia Academy is great. I've made my pens, I bought my Tets. So everything I have was bought at Tet. Anything that's pen, I've made to pen. So all Manos gear was Tet when I bought it. Alright, I got 6 energy left. Insufficient energy. Alright, we're done.
Livestock have their own ways to joggle. He's a good guy. Really quite something, actually.
Let's just go ahead and run it down here. Okay, so let's put this up. And we'll move it over probably back to my Seraph, where I will be processing for the rest of the evening. Well, hold on, let me put those up. Okay. Yes. All right, so let's get the numbers on my current cedar sap now. So we needed 36,400 was the number we needed. And now after the grind, donkey. All right, process, let's do copper for the moment while we're sitting here. All right, so let's take a look at Calpheon, Glish, yes, Glish. All right, Snowfield Cedar Sap is now 32,018. So we only need 9,000 more Snowfield Cedar Sap. So one more good run and Snowfield is done. So that means the next big chunk is going to be doing Ash Sap. I need to get 33,000. So let's see here. Obviously, Caphras Sap. And then the byproducts is I just need a little bit of Snowfield Cedar and a little bit of Pine. But Pine I'll get doing the others. So the next 3 hours of energy is going to be going into... I'll probably burn the Seraph's energy at Caphras, sucking that off. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and stage, if they're not staged already, for Calpheon, so that we can start working on Troll Blood and Fox Blood. Let's see here. So you are in Bear. You're in Bear. You're in Calpheon. You're in Calpheon. You're in Calpheon. Okay. So I have these bottom three that are in Calpheon. So if I let those be the troll blood gatherers, that's 3 hours of troll blood right there. That's not terrible. The rest are down there in Bear. And then you're out in the ocean, but you don't count. So that's not too terrible. Something else I need to check real quick is Valencia 15,000. Shit. All right. You want to see some degen shit? Welcome to what life is as a trader. We buy silver azaleas by the million. Yes, you heard. By the million. We also buy mushrooms by the million, too. And the crazy thing is, I'll burn this out in maybe a week or two. There you go. 1 million silver azaleas. Now, let me go to the sanctuary real quick. I think there's somebody down there. And I'm going to gather that. Let's see here. One of y'all still there? Yeah, you're still there. And I'm going to turn in that quest real quick to Ludo for the gathering. I just realized that's down there. And way easier to do than me going all the way down there at the bottom of Grana. And faster. That's the fucked up part. Head out over here. So the plan will be, if I can get done with my shit early enough tomorrow, I'll try to be on by like 10 or 11. If not, I'll be on tomorrow evening. And we'll grind out some more shit. So, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up bringing the Dracania and the Valkyrie up here to do Timber. The Corsair, we might end up gathering on tomorrow. The Witch, I need to figure out what we're doing with her. Whether I'm bringing her back from Calphion or from Valencia or not. Let's go back to the Seraph. So, yeah. I'm going to try to get as much as we can figured out here shortly. I'll need to have several up here to do the timber at some point. We need to create 100 stations of alchemy. So let's see here. Currently we are at let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That's 60 alchemy stations right there. So 60 out of the 150. We will focus in on some more towards the end of it. Once I kind of get to the point where I get to that, I think I'm at the ridiculous level, I will start considering focusing on alchemy stations and then rotating over into more alchemy, because I mean we're gonna be making a shit ton of this stuff. But yeah, so that's it. We're gonna call it here. I need to go get ready for the podcast. We'll be back tomorrow, maybe early, maybe late. We'll figure that out when the time comes. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I'll see y'all on tomorrow, and yeah, no problem. Good luck on your grind. Hopefully things go well for you there, easy, and Yeah. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Later, everyone.